Hello, everybody. Tim Manning here. I'm going to be brief during this particular video, but I want to actually show you my screen. So hold on one second, and I'm going to get started momentarily, but I want to make sure I have, as you can see, I only have a few slides, so I'm going to try to be brief, but I want to make sure that you are very attentive for this brief time because I don't want to hold you. Um, Now, just be mindful that there is a training that I'm going to be holding. The link should be below in the description. Now, I'm not sure how long I'm going to be having this training um, available. So make sure if this subject matter interests you any, you want to make sure you click on that link. Now, when you click on the link, you're going to actually see um, a, and I'll just be honest, it is a messenger link that will allow you to register for a platform. Okay, and I'm going to be going into detail about this platform on the actual training, but you're going to have to register for this particular platform because what I'm going to be talking about in this particular video is one of the things that I think a lot of um, business owners, whether um, they are heavily dependent upon local business, or if you are more so looking toward getting most of your sales online. So whatever situation or category you're in, this will apply to you. But the training that I'm going to be holding is going to be contingent upon you registering for this particular platform. And don't worry, the platform is free, at least for now it is. Um, but you have to register at the link in the description. I'm going to be asking you a few questions via Messenger, and I give you access to this platform. Make sure you register, and when I release the training, you will be able to do that. Because if you don't register for this particular platform, um, you're not going to be able to access the training. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, as you can see on the actual screen, you see the three biggest mistakes to avoid if you want consistent online sales. Now, why did I not only use this title, but um, why am I talking about this now? Well, the the demand for um, let me just put it like this. And like I said, I'm gonna definitely try to be brief. So less than 10, 15 minutes. Um, the landscape of the economy is um, based on the research that I've done because I'm in the markets quite often, so I'm looking at financial statements and things. Now, the stock market is not um, it is not a vivid picture of the economy, so don't mistake the performance of the stock market as a reflection of have a direct correlation with the performance in the economy. So um, I'm gonna try not to get deep into the economics, but the national economy or the local economy is not a reflection of the stock market. I hope that makes sense. So, but anyway, um, things are changing a lot, especially when it comes to the economy, right? So with that said, that puts you in an interesting predicament as it relates to you being able to sell a product or service that you may be offering, right? Now, this is going to be mainly geared toward people that sell some type of product, right? Now, be mindful. There is, not to get into the different categories of products, but I'll just put it like this. If you're not accepting some type of payment online, now I'm not talking about uh, just getting a PayPal button and sticking it up somewhere, right? Um, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about um, you being able to um, have enough volume where having just a PayPal button will diminish your brand, right? That's what I mean by uh, accepting payment, right? But more on that, and I'm going to talk about more on that in the training. But the reason why I brought that up is because there is a lot of, not a lot of mistakes. I just want to talk about three in this particular video. There are three main mistakes I see being made, right? One is, and of course, if you don't know, I'm sorry, I didn't make an introduction. If you don't know me by now, my name is Tim Manning. And I operate a few businesses. I mainly trade stocks and currency and things like that. Um, but I wanted to really make this presentation because I think so many business owners, especially new ones, are totally naive about what's going on behind the scenes, right? What do I mean? Well, the and I don't know if you all have been listening to the news, but there is what you call um, some crazy things going on around TikTok, right? Now TikTok, I'm not on by the way, but it's a software platform, right? And um, TikTok is relatively new compared to all of the other social platforms, right? And there's a lot of controversy around it. I'm not going to get into it. But you, as a business owner or a potential business owner, um, should be paying attention to this. Why? Is because when you look at technology, its involvement in a company's success is huge, right? It's huge. Now, and that's one of the reasons why once you click the link in the description, you're going to be able to sign up for this free platform that I'm referring to it, because it's so essential for you to actually have access to technology that will allow your business to take off, right? Especially if it hasn't taken off already. But I think a lot of business owners think that they can get by with not having technology, right? And that's one mistake that I'm referring to. They think they can get by without having it, right? Well, I'm not going to go into the details about the type of technology that you need because I know everybody's different. But I wanted to at least give this in this particular video a brief overview of how important technology is, because, for an example, um, Walmart is, and this is all public information, Walmart, which is one of the largest um, employers, right, in the US. However, they don't dominate the online space, right? So they're behind the technology curve, huge. In a, I mean, I think they made a few acquisitions within the past couple of years, but they're still behind, right? Now, in case you wondering what is this on the screen, the big elephant, the elephant's enemy. I'm going to be talking about that on the training, and it's not actually what you think. I know some people may think, well, an elephant enemy is a mouse. No, not necessarily. But I'm going to be going over that in the training and why it's important for uh, you to understand this concept of the elephant's enemy in order for you to thrive. Because how can I articulate the elephant's enemy? I put it like this. Um, so, and this is all public information, right? I'm not saying, and this is not video, it's not intended to be controversial, but Macy's, you have a few other well-known retail brands that are closing stores or filing bankruptcy, right? Now, this is pre-pandemic, right? So, in essence, they were having a decline in business prior to the pandemic, right? Um, and however, you have another company that's in the same industry, right? The same industry that are making uh, their quarterly forecast, right? And that's the term I'm using from a stock perspective. Public companies have to report typically on a quarterly basis, and they give estimates. And usually, analysts review companies, and they issue a buy or sell based on the data that they acquire from their particular review. So, but anyway, this there are several companies that are in the same industry, retail, right, that are making their estimates, right, during the pandemic. But you had bigger brands that are not necessarily making it, right? So I wanted to really, and this is, I'm gonna go more into the elephant's enemy in the training, but why you should attend this training is just for the simple fact of uh, one, to access the free platform, of course, but two is you have to really understand not just how technology is, but um, where your customer is, right? Now, and I mentioned earlier that you got some of these business owners that are anti-tech, right? Usually those will be left behind. Now, anti-tech is, it can present itself in a few different ways, right? I was talking to this particular retailer some years ago, and he was like, well, I'm not good at it. I don't have anybody to hire. Well, I can't afford to hire anybody. So he says, I'm not good at it. And I don't have, it's not in my budget to hire anybody to do it. So obviously it's not important. So, not in the budget, and I don't do it, or I don't know how to do it, or I can't do it, or not willing to do it, right? all of these quote unquote excuses, right, of being anti-tech, right? But this same individual, and I don't know if you're like this, but they're watching brands get created. I gave away the keyword. Brands get created, brands get built, right? But also brands being diminished, right? Um, um, the way they're using tech, right? Or their lack of, right? So I just wanted to mention that is, um, you definitely want to make sure you know where your customers are, not just locally, but um, online as well. What do you mean where locally? Well, a lot of people think that, and this is what has changed over the past 4 to 5 months. Um, but this thought has always been half true, at least in my eyes. They say location is key, right? In any business, right? Especially if you have a physical location. And there is some truth to that, but it's not entirely true. Why? Is because you have um, you have a lot of different people that are paying monthly leases. Some expensive, I mean, in the hundred thousands of dollars a month, and some just a couple $1,000s a month. Um, and usually, not all the time, but most of the time, lease prices are based on um, the geography, right? Sometimes, well, I'm not saying sometimes, but when you look at San Francisco, where some of the most expensive real estate is, um, that is geographical, right? Now, you can go in the same state, but go down to some parts of California and it will be, a percentage of the price, right? 1 or 2% of the price. So while location is key is something that has been termed that's not always true. Why? Is because it's really based on your customer, right? If you can't get a customer to come through the door, right, whether you're in a good location or in a horrible location, right, it doesn't matter, right? So that's one of the things that I think, especially if you have a brick and mortar location, um, you not only have to know where they are locally, but you also have to know where they are online, right? So in the business world, they call that being omni-channel, right? Having uh, a physical location and a online location, both accepting payment, by the way. So, but anyway, I just wanted to be brief in this particular video to kind of talk about at least some of the mistakes that I've been seeing business owners make, and especially if you're um, even thinking about getting in business. I think this would be a very helpful training for you, um, that you can access at the link in the description. I hope you all are well, stay safe, and I hope to see you on the training. Thanks.